0, 1. Let's get started.
Why they stopping me?
Bye, crypto bro.
What's going on, crypto peeps? It's that guy again, Ball Deep Crypto, coming at you with another XLM stellar piece. You know I'm about that Kool-Aid. Let's get this out of the way real quick. Ball Deep Crypto is not a financial advisor. He's just a guy talking to a computer about crypto. What you do with your money is your choice. I'm just telling you what I'm going to do with mine. Please make your own decisions. Now let's get into it. Obviously, we're looking at a post here from AA, stellar dude, the dude abides. In less than 3 decades, he says, using existing currency depreciation rates, the US dollar will be deemed worthless. Despite all these issues with debt and inflation, XLM increased over 300%. We can never make any more, and the entire world will use it. Think about it. XLM. As you can see down here, we got a couple people. Stellar, Starlink, Vast, SpaceX. X payments will be connected soon. Obviously, I believe in all that too. But I also believe in what he's saying about how the money is going to go digital. The dollar is going to go. They're going to go towards silver, gold, asset-based. I believe in that. Obviously I'm a big silver guy. So, do what you want to do with your money. Again, none of that's financial advice. Just want to kind of throw that out there. Now we're going to go to look at what Build on Stellar was saying. No need to wait for the perfect smart contract architecture. Soroban. Shout out to Soroban. We love Soroban. Gives you 5-second feedback loops on testnet. Faster than most devs can even compile their Solidity. The ecosystem rewards builders who iterate quickly, not perfectionists who never launch. And we're going to touch on another thing that they said. Rust to WASM. Compilation means you're writing code that feels familiar but runs with the performance of native execution. No gas estimation, no failed deployments eating your testnet budget. Other chains make you choose between dev experience and shipping. Stellar just works. Loving Stellar, what they're doing with Soroban and the upgrades here. That's what this video is going to be focusing on. It says the real money isn't buying steamer coins. It's in the building the infra they'll need for scaling, payment rails, content monetization, fan engagement tools. While everyone's gambling on personalities, smart builders are positioning for the new infra wave that's coming. I believe in that. I believe in Stellar. Now let's go over here to Scopely, which is the Stellar wallet. They're talking about just a little update on the Meridian 2025, which we touched on a few videos talking about it. Some of the highlights which we talked: Meridian Pay, the USD DY by Ondo Finance, when they're already onboarding right now as we currently speak. The RWA tokenization, Centrifuge launched tokenized funds like DJT, like the US Treasuries, and the DJAAA, the AAA rated CLO. We're going to get into Tesoro, stable bond. It's backed by Brazil's central bank bonds with high APYs. Obviously, we talked about MoneyGram and Crossmint. Obviously, new app updates. We're not getting into that now. And PayPal's PYUSD. So just a little things we're going to get into. Now let's talk about Centrifuge. DERWA are coming to Stellar Org, launching with obviously the short-term US Treasuries and AAA CLO strategy. It's backed by a $20 million investment at the start. RWA embedded in Stellar's global financial rails. A little bit here that Centrifuge is talking about. Unlocking 24/7 trading via Sora Swap Finance. It brings DRWA pairs to Stellar's native DEX, instant swaps with deep liquidity. Obviously, it strengthens Stellar's markets with Aquarius DeFi. It adds DeFi, RWA to the liquidity layer, boosting participation and volume across the Stellar DeFi. We love Stellar. Shout out to them. I'm a real big fan personally, as you guys probably, if you've watched the videos, I know not that many people do, but I don't care about that all that much anyways. But so Sorrel Swap, RWA, I like what they're doing. Blend, you know, that was a shout out to you know who you are. Appreciate you, my guy, for putting me onto that. I don't currently have any blend, but I do like what they do. It's just at 4 cents, you know. Like I said, I'm putting my money towards, you know, other things at the current moment, but I will be getting some blend. I just need to come in a little bit more capital. Your boy, Ball Deep, is broke, but he's doing what he can do and buying as much as he can. Best believe. All right, now back to it. Collateral that earns. Obviously, Blend Capital integrates RWA, enabling borrowing and lending backed by institutional grade assets. You know, you've got savings that go beyond stable coins. It's a Findex to launch yield-backed products powered by RWA, simple, transparent, on-chain. And also, we talked about Layer 0 a couple times. OFT standard for RWAs on Stellar. Stay composable with DeFi with Layer 0. And Stellar equals a distribution at scale. Love it all. Got to love it. As they said down here, RWA everywhere. Coming for that ass. ETH, trash. Coming for it. I'm gonna spank it. You know what I mean? It's like, what was that movie called? Oh, it doesn't matter. Where he's like, you know, the blue people, you know what I mean? I forget how the hell I remember. Anyways, where he's flying above, he's like, yeah, he never like looks up because he's always looking down on people. Well, that's ETH. They're the guy at the top. They think they're the top, but guess what's coming? You already know. Now, Centrifuge here, obviously, tokenization momentum keeps building ever since the launch of Protocol 23 and Soroban. It's been all RWA is what we're talking about. TVL, everything else. This is what I'm focused on. I'm really excited about this potential, obviously, while I'm talking about it. Now, this week, the total on-chain value of real-world assets remains firmly above the $30 billion mark, with both asset holders and issuers recording notable growth. As you can see here, 30 billion, like you said, total asset holders are a little bit over 400,000, with total asset issuers at 222. Stablecoin value at 287 billion, with total stablecoin holders at 193 million. So, as you can see, growth on growth on growth. This is what we'd love to see. This is what we are seeing. This is what we think the future is going to be. It's going to continue with this growth, in my opinion, not financial advice. Now, also, we have Band here. Now, Band is supporting Centrifuge RWA on Stellar Org testnet. The live RWA feeds of the DEJAA, the collateralized loan obligation, and the treasury bills are now live. The future of finance is just getting started. Stay tuned for updates coming soon. Band, Stellar, Centrifuge coming together. Now let's go see what's going on with that. Let's dive a little deeper. Okay, so now looking into the benefits of Centrifuge, which I believe we touched on in a previous video, but we're going to pretty much expand on in this video talking about that. So we're going to talk about, obviously, launching on Stellar allows Centrifuge to tap into its fast, low-fee network for global distribution of tokenized assets, attracting institutional investors seeking compliant, which, you know, we know Stellar loves compliance. They are all about crossing the T's and dotting the I's. RWA yields 4 to 5% on treasuries. Institutional credibility and growth as a Polkadot native protocol, expanding to non-EVM chains like Stellar. This positions Centrifuge as a cross-chain RWA leader, which we know they want all the chains to interconnect, and that's one thing that Stellar is actually pushing and driving for. And I'll be putting out some videos here tomorrow, maybe even tonight. I'll put out another one, but it's kind of late. About how they want to cross-chain. They want everything to connect, and they want everything to work together. The bridges, everything else. Layer zeros we talked about before. What was it, 82%? So, you know, big things coming all across the whole crypto network. They basically, like, banks work together. They want it to work, obviously, with crypto and everything else. Money to be able to move to wherever money needs to move, and assets as well. Now, this positions Centrifuge as a cross-chain RWA leader, potentially increasing its TVL from 500 million to over 1 billion by year end through Stellar's partnership with entities like Mercado Bitcoin. Big. That's a big jump. Now, the benefits for the Band protocol, like we talked about, it's RWA Oracle adoption and revenue. It's supporting Centrifuge's RWAs on Stellar testnet. It showcases Band's cross-chain capabilities, providing secure, real-time feeds for assets like the JAAA and the Treasury bonds, short-term bonds. This drives Oracle query volume, generating fees and boosting Band's token utility in the growing RWA sector. Its integration with high-profile RWA projects like Centrifuge enhances Band's reputation in DeFi, potentially increasing its market share in Oracle services and partnership amid a 30% year-to-date rise in cross-chain Oracle demand. So we've already got a 30% raise in that. It's going to continue to increase. Like I said, they're all going to be connected at some point or another, at least the ones that are in compliant and fully regulated. All the ones that are playing with the big fish are going to be fishing at the same pond. Now the benefits for Stellar, obviously, the launch injects $20 million in tokenized assets directly into Stellar, accelerating its RWA ecosystem with yield-bearing products that can be used as collateral or traded. This aligns with Stellar's focus on compliant cross-border finance and enhancing its network activity. The DRWAs enable new use cases like stablecoin borrowing against treasuries and drawing more developers and using Stellar Protocol 20 upgrades for asset issuance. Now, Stellar's RWA sector is posed for explosive growth, like we talked about, building on a 10x increase from $290 million to $3 billion, which they already hit per Donnell Dixon. Driven by integrations like Centrifuge's $20 million launch and Mercado's $200 million issuance. Now, overall, tokenized RWAs hit $23 billion in value, a 260% year-over-year surge. Whoo, people, it's coming. With TVL at $13.4 billion across chains. But Stellar's share is accelerating due to its low fees, which we know are cheap, and its regulatory edge, which we talk about. They've got the MiCA compliance. They're in with everybody. If they say, hey, what do you need for us to be compliant? They do it. ISO 222 and so on and so forth. The ERC code, the token as well. So short term, obviously, TVL could reach 500, 800 million, and on Stellar alone, obviously, network-wide TVL may climb 50 to 80% to 1.5 billion to 2 billion per quarter 1 2025, 3.4 billion payments volume baseline. Obviously, midterm, 10 billion plus. RWA TVL is in its partnership scales, implying a 3 to 5x growth. I'll take that. You know what I mean? I'm not so worried about the XLM price right now. I'm trying to work on the other assets of it, but I still, obviously, come on, let's be real about it. Long-term goal, $6 plus by 2030 with XLM and RWAs when they hit $30 trillion globally. I believe Stellar's probably going to be more than that, but again, I'm not really doing it to talk about that. I'm not a chart reader, just talking to you about what's potentially going to be happening. Now, the integration supercharges Stellar's DeFi layer by providing high-quality yield, So, obviously, who is in that network that can benefit from it? Obviously, we talk about Aquarius. Now, as the primary integration partner, Aquarius enables seamless trading and swapping of DRWAs, boosting its volume up 25% post-launch, and TVL by allowing users to pair tokenized treasuries with stablecoins for efficient yield farming. Blend, which we talked about, also serves as a premium collateral for over-collateralized loans, expanding Blend's 100 million plus TVL with institutional-grade assets. This unlocks new borrowing markets and potentially doubling lending activity for underserved users in Latin America and Asia. Big things. Obviously, Soroban's smart contracts, enhanced Oracle feeds from Band enable more secure RWA-based dApps, driving developer grants. It also increased RWA liquidity, improves PEG stability, and cross-border remittances with 3.4 billion quarter 1 volume as a base. And emerging issuers, DECTA, Franklin Templeton Fund, for faster tokenization pipelines via Certifuge, targeting 500 million in new assets. Now, overall, this trio positions Stellar as a top RWA hub, fostering a flywheel of liquidity yields and adoption across its ecosystem. Like we said, we know that ETH trash is the big dog on the porch. But Stellar, with Soroban, Protocol 23, and also with the ZK for Protocol 24 coming up, is making moves to be the next big dog. I know that Solana's up there too, and others. But Stellar's coming into this game. It's coming hot. They do everything, people. Everything. Now let's talk about how, a little bit more about a stable bond. Tesoro is a product launched by Brazilian fintech Etherfuse, which we touched on in a previous video. If you watched it, shout out to you. During the Meridian Conference, obviously, it tokenizes Brazilian government treasury bonds, offering investors low-risk, yield-bearing assets with approximately 13% APY in Brazilian real. Now, these stable bonds are issued natively on Stellar, enabling seamless trust line additions and wallets, permissionless trading on decentralized exchanges for DEXs, and used as collateral in DeFi. Now, it's backed by Brazilian central bank bonds from Latin America's largest economy. Tesouro access to high-yield government securities for global users, aligning with Stellar's focus on RWAs, stablecoins, and emerging markets. Now, obviously, we know it adds high-yield, compliant RWAs to Stellar, driving transaction volume and active addresses while validating the network for regulated assets like government bonds. As Brazil's economy grows, Tesouro leverages Stellar's cross-border strengths for remittances, which, Stellar loves remittances, and stablecoin pairings, positioning Stellar as a go-to for Latin America finance. They want to be everywhere. Now, native issuance simplifies onboarding, increases overall payment volume, and attracts more developers via the Soroban smart contract. We just talked about how they're growing. This is it again. TVL 300, 400, 600 million. This is basically just an overview of it, projecting where it's going to be 5 to 8 billion in RWAs if Latin American adoption scales. Beautiful thing. By 2025, could forecast it could reach 10 to 16 trillion by 2030. So, big things happening. Big things happening. Now, Tesouro's high-yield stable bond inject liquidity and collateral into Stellar's DeFi layer. It creates a yield flywheel for composable applications. Of course, the usual fish are here. No pun intended. Aquarius, Agua. It enables efficient swapping of tokenized bonds against stablecoins like USDC or BRL pairs, boosting trading volume and providing deep liquidity pools for RWA arbitrage. Now, Blend. Bonds serve as premium, low volatility collateral for over-collateralized loans, expanding the Blend's 100 million plus TVL with 13% yield opportunities. Ideal for borrowers in high inflation markets, potentially increasing lending by 40%. Big things. Obviously, same thing applies. If you got real-time bond yields integrated with DApps, obviously bringing more developers. Enhanced RWA backing improves peg stability and remittances for stablecoins, with Tesouro facilitating the BRL USD conversions amid a 3.4 billion quarterly volume. Woo, I love that. Obviously, we're talking about RWA platforms, Franklin Templeton, Mercado, Bitcoin, faster tokenization of Latin American assets via Etherfuse. Shout out to them. Targeting 300 to 500 million in additional issuances. This integration cements Stellar's role in tokenized emerging market finance, fostering inclusive growth across its ecosystem. Now, we know Soroban is a game changer. We know that Protocol 23 is out there. They're pushing it. They're getting more developers. They're going places and showing people what it can do and saying, this is what we can do. We know you're using this currently, but this is how we're better. We're trusted. We are reliable. We are cheap. We are integrated. We are fully compliant. It's got so many different things to offer. It's just a beautiful thing to see. And the potential here is right in front of us, people. Not financial advice. I'm out here just talking about it. Hopefully, like I said, and I say it all the time, I appreciate you being here. Your time is money, and you're spending it with me. So much appreciated. That's all I got to do and talk about on this subject. Sorry if it was kind of quick and rushed, but I wanted to get it out. I wanted to talk about it. I want you to see it. I want you to hear it, and hopefully it touched you somewhere where you got something out of this. Knowledge is power. I hope each and every one of you have a great day. And like I always say, chase a check, never chase a bit.